Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Let's see, audio good, connection stable. Welcome, my name is Ike, this is TAGN, the Angry Game News. On regular timings as usual. Sometimes I am motivated, sometimes not. Ahoy, Ouch My Junk, ahoy, Admiral Smooth Rod, which is Very odd seeing that name. Because he keeps away. He has too much to do over the day. And at night, he plays the same game over and over. The same game. He can adjust his gun. He loves Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov. Have you ever played the Duck game with Escape from Tarkov or whatever it's called? They have a crossover, right? We're going to talk about video games as usual on this show. And we have quite a lot of news for only about 48 hours. And we have to talk more about Epstein stuff. And now we found emails which Bobby Kotick, the ex-CEO of Activision Blizzard, exchanged with Jeffrey Epstein. And it's going to be interesting what they have to say about that. Yeah, and before we come to that, we're just going to check regular gaming news overall. I would just make we want to play Tarkov. I wouldn't make, sorry, I can't speak English as usual. Well, you played it anyway. Why not something that is similar but it's the same? Anyhow, fans hope this mysterious PS Store listing points to a PS Star's replacement. Last year, Sony quite suddenly dropped support for its PlayStation reward program, PS Stars. Now fans have discovered a strange new page on PS Store, and they're hoping to suggest a replacement is on the way. While it's yet to be officially acknowledged, a listing for something named Wallet Credits is viewable on the browser version of the PS Store. Currently, it contains no further information other than Interactive Entertainment being listed as the publisher. Oh, and you can wishlist if you want, which doesn't make a lot of sense when you don't know what you're wishing for, but sure, just go wishlist it. And that's pretty much how it looks for now. You just see that. I think they are going to get ready for more CBDC stuff, meaning central banking credit currency stuff, you know. Just be like in the game of the digital currency era, which is upon us all. Other than that, we really don't know what it is. If you're going to get maybe for buying games some credits and it's going to be put in this wallet and you can use those credits after you bought game for a whole year to buy one game with all those credits. Who knows? We have to wait and see. But that's the news. That's the news. Let me fix here some window on my OBS just in case. And you'll know I love to talk about Ubisoft because they suck big time and they just keep sucking. And I think that's what they want. I think they have a kink for just sucking overall in the industry right now. Maybe not right now, maybe more like at least since a year. At least. Ubisoft Assassin's Creed dev fired less than 2 weeks after criticizing company's plans to end work from home. Ubisoft Montreal lead Michaud Crump has been fired just a few days after he was previously punished for publicly speaking out against the company's plans to force all employees to return to office. Oh yeah, the humanity to go to work outside your home again. The pandemic was like a blessing for some people, just being at home and doing whatever they want. And I don't think it was beneficial for like the whole work environment. Meaning some people are just being lazy more at work just by default, and maybe they don't like it, like to put again some hours in an office, like being visible at least there, physical at least at the workplace. And he was one of those who didn't like it. I don't know how much he worked, but he obviously was against going back to work in the office. Ubisoft wanted all employees to return to their local offices 5 days a week. As reported by Kotick, many Ubisoft developers weren't happy about this big change. It is not a change, it's going back to the regular, just saying. Including Ubisoft Montreal level design team lead Michaud Crump, who vented publicly on LinkedIn in January 23rd. 5 days later, he posted on the site that he was being punished by Ubisoft for his comments and was given a 3-day unpaid disciplinary suspension. And now Michaud Crump tells Kotick he's been terminated from Ubisoft. He said, "Today I was terminated by Ubisoft, effective immediately," posted the developer on LinkedIn. "This was not my decision. I won't be discussing internal details on circumstances. I'm taking time to regroup and will share next step when appropriate." Do you call it like regroup when you're just one dude? Is it like regrouping? I'm not sure about that. I'm here for a few episodes of Total Asshole Gaming News, which is not the name of it, you bitch, cocktail. The smallest violins. For Michon, yeah. I mean, Montreal is Cocknadia, so, and I have right now 2 Cocknadians in the chat. And both are, one even starts cock, in the name, and the other one is ouch my junk. But yes, smallest violin playing right now for Michaud. I'll be in and out of the chat, but I'll be listening. Prepare to be erased. Sounds also a little bit harsh, erased. You're just not being paid anymore. You can probably stay in the office if you want, I assume. But they're just not going to give you any more money. Sharing feedback or opinions respectfully does not lead to a dismissal. We have a clear code of conduct that outlines our shared expectations for working together safely and respectfully, which employees review and sign each year. When that is breached, our established procedures apply, including an escalation of measures depending on the nature, severity, and repetition of the breach, said Ubisoft themselves. Kind of a weird happening the whole time with Ubisoft. It's so weird. It's mega strange. I can't wrap my head around what Ubisoft is doing since they announced like selling off a certain part of their company to Tencent. I mean, they didn't call it sell it off. They call it like merging together and joint venturing and blah, blah, blah. Effectively, Tencent is going to buy them up sooner or later completely. Nothing is going well for Ubisoft. And maybe it's all intentional, I don't know, but it's just strange. They can't get their heads out of headlines. They keep in the headlines. They keep getting bad press. And no, bad press is not good press. Bad press sometimes can just be bad fucking press. That's another case. Ubisoft doing everything wrongish, in my opinion. I don't know what really happened behind the scene. He doesn't tell us. This Michaud Crump doesn't tell us exactly what happened else. Yeah, it's just interesting. It's just interesting. Ubisoft keep on losing. On all fronts. On all fronts, Ubisoft keeps on losing. Because that doesn't look good for them. You need to lay off somebody you didn't lay off previously in the rounds of layoffs, you know, when you had the chance. And this dude was also like in the talks about the unionization strikes and all that. So nothing goes well for them. And this is like also strange. I wished it would have been released, but it was not. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake press kits seemingly included a collectible dagger, further cementing just how darn close the game was to release. It appears that the press kit for Ubisoft's cancelled Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake would have included a collectible dagger. Alas, it wasn't to be, though at the last month Ubisoft announced a major organizational, operational, and portfolio reset, which saw company delay 7 unspecified projects, close 2 studios, and cancel multiple games, including Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake. And I think it's just fair to show like this dagger in the press kit, and it's so sad, kind of. Oh, haste. Somebody was able to get this press kit, made an unboxing video. And it looks like quality. It looks like people at Ubisoft put like thoughts behind this whole release, you know? Did a nice marketing campaign, or prepared a nice marketing campaign. With a nice little wooden box here. Then you have this semi-translucent looking dagger. It's the dagger of times, you know. This looks like it's a metal handle, you know. A wannabe gem. It just looks nice, you know. Why you cancel a game that is so far developed that you make marketing collectible items, send them out as press kits, like pre-release press kits, the dagger itself, and then you just cancel the whole game? Weird as fuck. Because it sucks. Well, we don't know if it sucks. We are not going to see it. We are literally not going to be able to play it. It might have sucked. Might have been a faithful remake. Or it sucked. You don't know. Shut up.
Shut up, bitch!
Shut up, Haste. Nobody knows. Maybe the new development team fucked it up more. Like they changed development teams twice in the whole, since it was announced in 2020, as far as I remember. And maybe they needed just to cancel because the new development team fucked everything up. That might be the case. It's sad. I would have loved to just see how it would have been played. Come on, it's 2026 Ubisoft we are talking about. Yeah, but it was, like I said, it was not Ubisoft developed. Another game that was not Ubisoft developed and got like already cancelled after release 2-3 weeks, which is insane. Report! Ashes of Creation developer Intrepid Studios shut down weeks after the MMO's early access launch. I thought about including similar news because already something happened before last Monday. I had my news on, but it didn't felt like it was enough meat on it. Now we have more meat on it, and the whole thing is closed down. Happened in about 3 days since my last news, which is insane. Everything, a lot of fails today. Just saying. Ashes of Creation is a self-proclaimed old-school take on the modern MMORPG, and it's is the product of hugely successful $3.27 million Kickstarter back in 2017. After spending extended time in alpha, the game surprise launch into early access in December, and now less than a month later, it seems the developer Intrepid Studio Inc. is shutting down. Over the weekend, PC Games N noticed that the Ashes of Creation website was updated to include a letter from the director, curiously signed off by the Ashes of Creation team rather than the game's director, Stephen Sheriff. It turns out Sheriff resigned from Intrepid recently, posting in the game's Discord, "I can make a limited statement in my personal capacity and not on behalf of the company regarding the situation," adding that control of the company shifted away from me and the board began directing actions that I could not ethically agree with and carry out. That sounds horrible, especially when you have like a Kickstarter game. You got not a lot of money, but 3.27 million is still enough to make a game. And what I saw, all the videos, all the screenshots, look like a polished, finished game. I think gameplay-wise, it might be actually something good. It looked like an old school RPG in general. How much MMO is in it, like mass player online? I don't know about that. And I'm never gonna know from now on. And the director says like, well, the board just took off my work, more and more of my work, and just decided stuff behind my back. That just like it sounds to me. And he couldn't just stand behind those decisions ethically. Like, what did they decide? You know, what did they decide? It's just weird. It's just very, very weird. All right, Supersonic. Farah would be strong boss woman. She probably was turned fatty and loud with blue hair. No, we got like early screen, not even early screenshot. We got screenshots. She looked fine. She looked absolutely fine. And it's a remake. Remake. It's not a remaster. You might be right. They might have changed more in her character. I doubt it though. In this case. Around the same time, over the weekend, Interpret's director of communication, Margaret Cron, revealed on LinkedIn that her time at the studio had come to an end. Following that, it appears various other developers at Interpret were laid off as a result of studio-wide shutdown, which is how former Ashes of Creation environment artist Olivia Plummer described the situation in her LinkedIn post. In another LinkedIn post, Interpret's sound designer Kevin Stills writes, "Hi everyone. With the recent closure of Interpret Studios, I am now actively seeking new opportunities in game audio," seemingly confirming Plummer's description of the situation as complete studio closure, as reported by Game Developer. That's so sad. That's so sad. I didn't heard much about this game at all, really, before it was in early access in December. And again, upon like just checking for this game on Steam, some gameplay stuff for pre-release, it looked good, just like gameplay wise. It looked like it was some old school. It looks very much like they had a lot of inspiration from World of Warcraft, to be more specific, like the monster design, the movement and all that. And it's just weird that they made the whole game, released it early access, 3 weeks later, everybody just leaves maybe the sinking ship. I don't know. Maybe they knew something, and I mean they must know something. Left the sinking ship and searching now for new jobs. And everybody who paid them Kickstarter got to play it for 2.5, 3 weeks now. That's a shitty move. And yes, you can't get into early access. You can go on Steam and check. The page is still there. It might be revived again. Maybe somebody picks up all the assets, the rights to publish it again, to develop it, whatever. Who knows? For now, the studio is like just closed down. No notification, nothing. How are you doing, buddy? Says Haste to Supersonic. Farah had a package in the remake. Now Farah is a true ally capable of fighting independently with a bow and performing joint attacks. No need to protect her anymore. Yeah, I saw that screenshot, but I'm pretty sure that screenshot was not exactly confirmed. Just like your fake ass, you told about Brie Larson in her movies, Marvel movies. You spread fake news as usual. Haste. I mean, she might have been a bald lady. She had a bowl though in the original too. Never forget that. So how much she would have helped you being independently playable, that's a different story. You know who fails all the time too and keeps on failing and now is being alleged with Epstein connections? Mind's Eye CEO threatens YouTuber with legal action following Epstein video. Mark Gerhardt, the co-CEO of Mind's Eye developer Build a Rocket Boy, has issued a formal cease and desist demand against YouTuber Cyberboy in the official Mind's Eye Discord server, accusing him of media manipulation, espionage, and sabotage, and of interference targeting Build a Rocket Boy. Sabotaging, really? Just because you were targeted? Are you Build a Rocket Boy? Are you the company itself? Gerhardt's message was posted in Discord roughly 18 minutes after Cyberboy released a video titled Leslie Benz is in the Epstein files, which the YouTuber says he later removed over the threat of escalated legal action. As reported by Insider Gaming, the new batch of Epstein files also included a reference to Leslie Benzies, founder of the co-CEO of Build a Rocket Boy and former president of Rockstar North. Now, we don't know, at least I can't verify anything anymore because the video is gone. So what's behind the allegations? What did he really say? Was he like saying, yeah, he absolutely fucked kids on Epstein Island? Or was he just like saying, oh, this dude is in the files mentioned? That alone doesn't say anything really because, for example, Ron Paul, the libertarian, not liberal, libertarian, was also in the Epstein files, mentioned twice so far, we know. But in a light that shows that he was against all that bullshit and that he pointed with a finger on those pedophiles and the pedophile rings. So isn't that weird? Why you go against it with legal action? If there's nothing behind it, you don't need such action, especially after you failed with your game, with your first game you published. Not a good look. Not a good look overall. It's just weird in general. On January 31st at 8:44 a.m. Eastern, Grand Theft Auto and Mind's Eye content creator Cyberboy released a video discussing the details of the Epstein victims' alleged encounter with Benzies. On the same day at 9:02 a.m. Eastern, Mark Gerhardt, the co-CEO of Build a Rocket Boy, issued the cease and desist notice in the official Mind's Eye Discord server and tagged Cyberboy's official Discord account in the message. Users on Cyberboy's official Discord server noticed that the video in question had disappeared at roughly 9:37 a.m. Eastern. As Cyberboy later clarified, I took it down. They threatened legal action. Can't be arsed with the drama of it all. Huh. So either you take your freedom of press, the freedom for journalism, or you are full of it too. Dear Cyberboy there. So everybody is doing bullshit in general. And calling it drama after you mentioned it and after you made some connections, you wanted that drama. But now you got a little bit too much heat of your own by those directly who you somehow mentioned in your video. You're a bitch boy. Change your name to bitch boy. How about that? Those people, man. Zero integrity. Zero fucking integrity throughout the whole content creator world. And I'm not sure if I would call him a journalist because I don't know about him. Not arset. Or the we wrote arset, yes. Can't be arset. Doesn't want to be the ass, the arse of the whole situation. I don't fucking know. But yes, nobody wins. Nobody seems to win here. And remember, CEO of Mind's Eye, Build the Rocket Boy, also said that people from Rockstar directly sabotaged also the whole game pre-release. So I don't know if you can trust such people in general. Never any evidence. So whatever. They just should have kept the mouth shut and see how it goes, and they still can't deny anything later on. That just doesn't look good. You're not gonna make your game stand out. Even they now just had a giant patch, which supposedly fixes all kinds of stuff and do a soft reset the whole game. But yes, I'm even less interested now. Even less interested. And I'm not interested in this one either. HighGuard seems also not to win. It seems to keep on failing and losing and falling on his face all that time. HighGuard Dev says it doesn't matter if the game reaches 1,000 or 100 million people. Yeah, sure, buddy. With 100 million people, you would fucking have celebration parties every hour. So shut your mouth. What a liar. Chad Grenier, the studio head of Wildlight Entertainment and director of the free-to-play raid shooter. I don't know if you can call it a raid with 3 people, 5 people now. Shooter HighGuard has said it doesn't matter how many people play the game. He said also, whether it gets 1,000 people or 100 million people, it doesn't matter. What matters most is that the game is loved by the people who play it. That is just partially true. It depends if you can sustain your system in general. If you don't get enough money back to your system because it's also an online game, so you have to pay some kind of server service, you know. You have to pay the lines, and you have to pay your developers and the marketing team, and of course the game masters who are in the support and the support in general and all that. So you have to pay those people. So you need some money. Now depends on how much money you need, how big your team is, and your product. You know, just claiming like it doesn't matter in general, it's a bullshit statement. Meaning you are full of it too. Why are those people all full of it? I caught myself shaving. Yeah. We heard that. We heard that joke once. You need to remember your jokes, Cheddar Steve. Otherwise, your stuff is just gonna. Your jokes is just gonna flatten on its face. Yeah, we know about that. You're telling that not only here but all over Rumble. He added that his hope is that HighGuard becomes a game that people love and becomes part of them. Before this, lead designer Mohamed Alawi said Wildlight was focused on finding a core, passionate community and then trying to grow from there. Alawi said, we don't need... That's always good when they say they don't need this and that from players and customers. We don't need player counts here, in brackets, to be super huge in order to be successful. Also in the interview, Wildlight's Dusty Welch said the team considered making HighGuard a paid game as opposed to free. However, it just didn't fit in with where we wanted to go as a company, he said. Yeah. Before we come to the numbers of HighGuard right now, there's more HighGuard news. Because for some reason, for some obscure reason, not only here on Games Radar, but also I think I saw articles of the same kind in Polygon, Kotaku, and maybe Push Squares. But I saw that same mentality all over the places here. We did it! That's according to we as the players. HighGuard 5 versus 5 is here to stay, and players are psyched that the studio is doing what it should have done in the first place. Well, maybe that part is very true. Over on Twitter, Wildlight says there were about the same amount of people playing 5 versus 5 as the original 3 versus 3 over the weekend, which apparently was all they needed to see. You've been asking, and we're happy to share. 5 versus 5 raid mode is here to stay, reads the tweet. We appreciate everyone hopping in over the weekend to give the mode a try. We saw a fairly even split between 3 versus 3 and 5 versus 5, which helped inform our decision. Big deal. Big deal because the numbers are horrible. Horrible. It keeps on going down. That's like since release, the peak almost 100,000 on at least on PC, and SteamDB is a good indicator of like success when a game is being launched on multiple platforms. Almost 100,000, and they kept on just losing people, losing, and the weekend is like here, right? Because it's counting from my timeline here. So you can go here on Sunday, which was not a bump higher, you know. The free weekend, in a sense, for more modes, didn't got anybody hyped. Nobody was hyped. Those who already played kept on playing and just switching to the 5 versus 5 mode, and that was it. Now the peak, the last 24 hours, is not even 7,000 players. Keep going down. So yeah, tell me about successful games, dear Wildlight Entertainment spokesperson there. I'm just saying, man, you're just delusional. You're being delusional and lying to yourself mainly. Like if you tell me you don't need like million people, yeah, maybe not. Maybe your team is actually super small and all that. But still, it's a free-to-play game. Means you are very dependent on a certain core player base number-wise to buy all your nonsense with skins probably and microtransaction. So I'm not trusting you anything from now on because you're lying to yourself. And people who lie to themselves usually lie to others too. Very logical, right? 3 is too low for team games, says Admiral. True, might be very true, and many people complained about that, the maps being too big, you know, for 3 versus 3. But they didn't got a bump, that's my point. They didn't got a bump. They should have had maybe like, I don't know, 5% more, 10% more at least, instead of earlier 15,000 players, concurrent players, maybe like a 20,000, just to show a small bump. But no, the numbers kept going down, and it was then split. That's what they tell us. It was then split even. Some people stayed on 3 versus 3, and others went to 5 versus 5. This game is already dead. And it's not like a Concord level because it's not a Sony game and probably not put a lot of money in it. But yes, it's not doing good. They are just failing. That's all I can say. Logard is more like it. Yeah. I mean, even like the picture. Can I make it bigger? Even the picture is like super generic. Those like team versus team play games. I just saw today, just randomly, Lost Ark gives the same vibe. Generic as fuck. Nothing special besides the mounting and mixing a little bit fantasy weapons with modern shooter elements. Nothing special. Poor guys. In the end, they are poor guys. They don't want to fail, but you should have maybe kept the development time a little bit longer on your side. Maybe polish a lot of stuff, more modes from the beginning, meaning testing out more. Give it another 3, 4, maybe 5 months, and then release it. And not showing it on on the Games Award show and fail now. So miserable. The market is too saturated. I mean, not really. If you make a game that players really enjoy and can enjoy, Arc Raiders is still being enjoyed a lot. I mean, Arc Raiders is for gay people, right, Admiral Smoothroad? I mean, he doesn't play a lot of Arc Raiders anymore, but it's still like the most played game right now, like concurrent players game right now on at least according to Steam data. So Arc Raiders is still doing very, very good because they give the players a little bit something new, a little bit something different, at least, you know? But yeah, so I wouldn't say it's just oversaturated market in general, but it's maybe oversaturated with generic nonsense. I'm going to skip the sneeze guard. Liar. I'm done vacuuming, now cleaning my shoes. Just one shoe. Productive is high today. Why only one shoe? Productivity. There you go. Microphallus. Thank you for the information about your penis there, Cheddar Steve. Nobody needed to know. He's a knight with an assault rifle. An assault knight. Lurg-Driv-Nightingen. I'm not sure what Lurg-Driv-Nightingen is, but okay. Our dear Sarge. At red light, almost home. He went to go buying some cigars, you know. The high guard image screams asset flip game. Yeah. AUG has done a fantastic job and retaining players. I picked up Arc Raiders on sale. I need to play it. Do it. I'm not gonna give them any fucking money with their AI slop. Put the elk in the shake like a towel ahead. I don't know why you need to put an elk in the shake. Doesn't make any sense. Not even close to any sense. But that's Cheddar Steve for you. He thinks he is a comedian. In reality, he's a joke. What a weirdo. Obsidian's The Outer Worlds 2 underperformed, and there won't be a third. Yeah, I'm big surprised. Are you shocked? Have you forgotten, like I actually did, that The Outer Worlds was released last year, and nobody is talking anymore about this failure, and they're not going to make a third one because it's failed. It underperformed, in quotation mark. A veteran role-playing game maker, Obsidian Entertainment, has no plans to continue The Outer Worlds with a third game, the studio has confirmed. As part of a Bloomberg interview, Obsidian revealed that the last year's The Outer Worlds 2 had underperformed, and a sequel is not in development. I think it was in development, but they saw the numbers now. They saw probably the numbers very early on not being good, and they just canceled probably everything. I'm pretty sure it was in development, but not very far, probably. About the company's other blockbuster RPG released last year also missed its target. How can you call it blockbuster but missing a target? It's obviously not really a blockbuster if it's missed its target. Or were your targets like even bigger than a regular blockbuster? Those wordings used by the game journalists, weirdos. In 2025, Xbox trumpeted the fact that Obsidian was about to launch 3 games in just 8 months, with Avowed hitting in February, Grounded 2 launching in early access in July, and The Outer Worlds arriving in October. But the effort was the result of things going wrong, studio design director Josh Sawyer has now said, and something that is unlikely to be repeated. Spacing those releases helps the company manage its resources and not burn everybody out, Sawyer told Bloomberg. It's not good to release 3 games in the same year. It's the result of things going wrong. Yeah, and you were pressured by Microsoft, obviously. You were pressured by Microsoft. You listened to Microsoft. They told you need to release those 3 games. We need those exclusive games in our Game Pass. You need to push that stuff. Come on. And many people need to be reminded that the Outer Worlds was like this first kind of official $80 games talked about, the new game prices, full game releases, $80, and they backed down and made it a $70 game, and it still didn't save them. That didn't help. That didn't help that they wanted actually to release it on $80, and people just were tuned out and not hyped anymore. Also, it didn't help them that the game was very not good performing on the systems themselves, like gameplay wise. Like Unreal, I'm pretty sure it was Unreal Engine 5 again, and they didn't optimize jack shit, and many people were not happy. Many people were really not happy about the performance gameplay wise, visually and all that. 79 game. Yeah, they thought so, but the backlash was a little bit even too much for Microsoft. But yes, their only hope for the future is that Grounded is going to do very good after it's going to be out of early access, making them some money. Otherwise, the studio is not in a good position overall. The next layoffs coming from Microsoft will probably be including more Obsidian people. But yes, never forget about the Outer Worlds 2. That was a thing for a week or so. I literally completely forgot about this, but when I saw it in my inbox, in the news, in my feed, I needed to include this. Underperformed. So I don't read a lot of manga. Actually, I have only one manga myself, the Akira one. I read Dragon Ball, the original series, way back in the days. But other than that, I never actually read mangas. So this news doesn't bother me, but it's interesting nonetheless. The largest manga piracy site in the world shuts down after allegedly costing the industry $5 billion in lost sales. Yeah, because everybody who read any site, any page, was a lost sale. That's how it works. Of course, for Sony. Sony is involved in this as usual. The largest manga piracy site in the world, bato.to, and approximately 60, that's 60, related sites have been shut down following a joint operation between the Shanghai Public Security Bureau of China and Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. Which I was very surprised reading those lines, because China usually doesn't give a shit about copyrights of other nations and such, you know. But the public security, why is the Public Security Bureau involved in all this? Sounds just a little bit strange. Maybe China is going to open up because the New World Order is a big club and they want all a little piece. And they can be like enemies all the time, right? As spotted by NHK, this news comes via a report from the Japanese Content Overseas Distribution Organization, also known as CODA, indicating that the home of a man alleged to have operated the world's largest manga piracy site had been searched. Although the suspect in question, who was arrested on the suspicion of copyright infringement, was detained on November 19, 2025, CODA's report states that the Bateau group of sites continued limited operation until January 19, at which point they confirmed that all 60 of Bateau.to sites had shut down. Today's Joe Sawyer mean pride. He's singing again. Our Canadian is singing again. Grounded 2 has started off well, pretty system heavy. Haven't played it in a while. Maybe they have optimized it a bit. Yeah, I mean, visually looked fine, grounded one, but just gameplay-wise, I was myself never interested. And like I said, that's their only chance to make some money this year at least. If they're gonna release it, like full release this year, that is. The statement notes that the 60 sites combined pulled in an estimated 350 million visits in May 2025 alone, and alleges that the resulting economic impact supposedly amounts to approximately 770 billion yen. That's just shy of $5 billion US. Yeah. That's how it works for those cocksuckers, though. I absolutely hate this counting. Like, yeah, so many people visited that page, and of course, every visit was a lost sale. It is confirmed because we know absolutely what was going on in the minds of people who visited. Maybe I was just researching stuff. Maybe I was looking like what is around on that page, and maybe it's actually like good marketing. Oh, this manga is really good. Maybe I should start collecting all that. You know, that can also happen. Not on a large scale, probably, but still. Like just counting every visit as a lost sale. Go eat my shit. Industry, go eat my shit. Literally. You fucking bastards. I hate that when they count it in this way. Makes no sense because it's not reality. That's not how it works. It's like pre-policing, like predictive policing. When they scan you with all the cameras on the streets and read through your social medias, they know exactly what you're gonna do. You're gonna commit that crime. You just don't know it yourself yet. Kind of the same mentality behind all this nonsense of every visit is a lost sale. Again, eat my shit. Yeah, I said it. Code also states that China Literal Limited, a subsidiary of Tencent Holding, cooperated with the investigation as part of its international collaboration efforts to strengthen the effectiveness of anti-piracy measures. Yeah, I'm not sure if they are like selfless in that sense, that they did this selflessly, meaning they want to protect their own IPs, and you can't, on the global scale, you can't pretend to protect IPs in general, or yours only when you don't care for others' IPs. That's why Tencent probably was involved here too. Because again, I don't think China really cares a lot about copyrights, infringements, and all that. The involvement of Tencent might have been a big push in this whole thing. Never heard of UrhG? Probably I did. I would pirate before I bought all the time. I'm still doing it, allegedly. It's in my opinion, it's actually like people who just buy straight up and then are being like angry because the product is bad or whatever. They should have maybe pirated it just to see if the game actually is something for you, like an extended demo. If that's my thought. If your product is really good and people have the money for it, people are gonna buy it. I'm convinced of that. If your product is really good, if your product has some quality behind it and doesn't just rip off people, it's gonna be bought if people have the money. Many people don't have the money. They still want to see what's going on in manga, anime, games, and all that. So they have, in quotation mark, they have to pirate it. Not because they are malevolent, but because they don't have the financial needs to purchase it right away. That's just, I think I'm convinced that's what happened with many people actually. Straight out the butt. That's what Chatter Steve wants. Rush isn't real. Rush isn't real. I read some One Piece back in early 2000, early O's. Don't say 2000s. Early O's. When Zoro was Zolo. I mean, that's like maybe like a more original translation, I guess. Because, you know, Japanese people, Zoro, Burori, broccoli, you know, they have their issues with L's and R's. Arr. Anyhow, while they were doing that in manga, by the way, and Sony was absolutely involved in the background with this whole thing, because Sony holds a lot of manga and anime IPs and copyrights, and Sony is notorious for counting every lost sale in the sense of every view is a lost sale. And Sony owns Crunchyroll, and you got now higher prices for the subscriptions. I don't know if they ever mentioned that they're gonna rise the prices, but they did. Crunchyroll subscriptions just got more expensive. If you didn't secure a Crunchyroll subscription when it was on sale during Black Friday, we have some bad news for you anime fans. The price has officially gone up, effectively immediately. Crunchyroll is raising the monthly cost of its fan, mega, and ultimate subscriptions by $2. US dollars, that is, of course. The fan tier jumps from $7.99 to $9.99 US dollars. Mega increases from $11.99 US dollars to $13.99 US dollars. And Ultimate rises from $15.99 US dollars to $17.99 US dollars per month. A lot of nines. The new price will take effect in the next billing cycle after March 4th. For a limited time, members can upgrade to a fan annual plan for $66.99 US dollar per year, approximately $5.58 per month. This marks the first price increase for Crunchyroll's US fan tier since 2019. Prior to this fan tier increase, the most recent adjustments occurred in May 2024 when the Mega Fan and Ultimate tiers saw price changes. Although it tends to remove shows from its platform, who would have thought that they do that stuff all the time on those subscription-based any platforms, may it be music, TV show, movie, whatever, they always gotta just remove your beloved stuff. Don't worry. Without notice, Crunchyroll has improved since its initial launch in 2008. The app is more widely available, even aboard commercial airlines. The video player allows viewers to skip the opening and close credits, and multiple users can now create profiles, helping to prevent accidental spoilers when sharing a Crunchyroll account. Oh wow, those are amazing features. Holy shit, you can skip the opening! Isn't that an amazing feature in 2026? I'm amazed. Holy crap. The technology behind skipping stuff. Big deal. Big deal. Only a mega simp of Crunchyroll can write like that. And who might it be? Oh, it's our beloved gay-ass Isaac Rouse, who is pissed all the time about anime not being colorful enough. I mean, with colorful enough, not enough black. He is one of those guys, yes. Adobe is killing a popular animation and game development program. Software giant Adobe sees many of its popular programs such as Photoshop, InDesign, and Premiere used in creation of games and other popular entertainment media. Their programs factor into many different development pipelines and are so ubiquitous as to be almost unavoidable, which is why many developers were extremely dismayed to wake up to an email from Adobe announcing the program's discontinuation on March 1st. It's not long till March 1st, by the way, so short notice there, Adobe. short notice. We are contacting you to let you know that Adobe will discontinue Adobe Animate on March 1st, 2026. As an existing Animate user, you may continue to use Animate, but please note that the technical support will no longer be available after March 1st, 2027, states the part of the email sent to users. Now, many people don't know maybe what Animator is, but it's kind of an important tool because you literally can do animation. The original story behind this Animator is the Adobe Flash Maker, you know? You remember Flash? All the people do that. The Flash player and all. And the Flash Maker was also able to do animations and all that. And if you're like educated in internet lore, in quotation mark here, you remember those little figures fighting, you know. That was all made with Adobe Flash Maker. Animator Christopher Lineolium. Is that his name? I just realized it now, kind of. Can that be a name? Linoleum? What are your floor? Brought up how many big names shows utilize the program. Adobe Animate remains an industry standard for TV animation. Star Trek Lower Decks was made in Animate. Yeah, it's a very meh show, just saying though. Haunted Hotel was made in Animate. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic was made in Animate. Oh no, My Little Pony. Oh shit. All those brownies or whatever they are called, those pony bros, are very sad. And because you can't buy a permanent license anymore, it'll just be gone. Yeah, it is what it is, man. You need to find new tools. There are other tools. I don't remember right out of my head what tools are there as replacement. But yeah. And that's what Adobe does. Adobe doesn't care if you being subscribed. If it doesn't make them enough money, they just will cancel their products. I miss the old days. You buy a product and you can use it for 5 years. Buy Adobe, you know. Animate is how Ike makes all his anime waifus, said they. I used it once, but I'm not a big fan of Animate. I have a different program for my waifus. I don't know what it was called. Let me check. I have it on my software NAS folder. Oh no, paid software. Yeah, I bought software. Believe it or not, sometimes I buy software. Moho Animation is one of those. The Moho Animation. There was another one. I think by the same company, but I can't find it right now. But yes, I make my waifus with different software. That's my point. I got you in a band? No. I was big in Crunchyroll 15 years or so ago. They used to have Black Friday deals for annual subscription for like $25 for the whole year. I mean, they have still Black Friday stuff. Every tier, that's a different question. Macromedia Flash. I mean, that was like the original before Adobe bought Macromedia and made it Adobe Flash. Stick Death. Yeah, you have multiple of those stick figure fights. Do I need? Let's remind people. You know, I think there were like 3 major episodes. Can we find it this way? Those are newer ones, not from the original creators. But yes, those were like the good old days. When you needed something animated, Flash was it. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Bye, Cocteau. I'd always said it's against TOS to keep using an old version. Well, according to them now, no. Or you mean maybe the full versions from back then? Well, if I bought it, I don't care if I have the license code and it's gonna work with license code only and you don't need online activation. Who the fuck gives a shit when they pull a Ubisoft? Ubisoft said the same bullshit. Like, if you have a physical disc and we don't support this game anymore and we don't have it like on sales anymore, you also need to destroy your copy of the game. I mean, fuck them. Literally, fuck them. What is wrong with those wannabe corporations? Badasses. 2004 one looked legit. Anyhow, that's kind of we are over the bad cancellation part of the news. We have news about the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2 has now outsold Wii U, fastest selling Nintendo system to date. Nintendo has achieved not one but two sales milestones today, and now we have news about Switch 2. The console has outsold Wii U in just a matter of months. In its lifetime, Wii U sold just a total of 13.56 million units. In less than a year, Nintendo Switch 2 has sold a total of 17.37 million units. Wii U was unfortunately a big miss for Nintendo, but it's clear there's significant interest for Switch 2, as was the case with its predecessor. The one thing Wii U has a leg up is on its software sales. Though that shouldn't be last long, Wii U's software sales stand at 103.6 million. Compared to 37.93 million on Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2 will next look to surpass GameCube. That system only managed to sell a total of 21.74 million units worldwide. Also confirmed today is that Switch 2 is the fastest selling Nintendo system ever based on sell-through. This is pictured in a graphic below, which we see here. Just to make it visually like more accessible for your little brains out there. That's how it looks. But this is not the only news from the Switch like frontline. Switch 1 outsold the DS because they kept selling on the Switch 1. Also, they kept selling on a lot of Mario Kart the 8 Deluxe since the launch actually of the Switch 2. About 3 million units of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still. And if you compare it though, like the hardware sales with the software sales, it's like very odd. It seems like it's slowing down sales-wise of the hardware, and Nintendo is not super happy with slowdown globally. It is doing still well, very well for them. They told us in Japan, but globally they seem like to want to see more. So let's see how that goes in this year. Maybe they already reached like a saturation overall. Maybe they need to kill their Switch 1 to make more sales in Switch 2. The viewer, oh yeah. Wasn't Switch 1 hard to find when it launched? Not really. It had like same notion like with the Switch 2. Like many people were super afraid you're not going to get a Switch 2. But in the end, it was we all found out that there were more than enough Switch 2s around. You might have needed to go to a different store because certain stores in certain areas, in certain states, had not enough in stock, but overall, it was like the same. Just, that's what companies do sometimes, inciting like fear of not getting something, pushing the fear of you're not going to be in the club. You better get out there and wait overnight in front of the store. That's just always the case with those companies. But no, we had enough on Switches and Switch 2. Switch 2 has like 3 or 4 exclusives. What's the point in upgrading? And I think like because the software sales still moving up on the Switch 1, people just want like the visual upgrades of certain older games. That's why they might buy Switch 2 in general. If those upgrades weren't there, I guess they would sell even less for like all the older games. So you are probably spot on with the exclusive and not being a lot of them out there. Even, by the way, Donkey Kong Bonanza, nobody's talking about that anymore. People seem to be played it through, and it's still releasing patches and the smaller parts of content, as far as I read in the news all the time. But other than that, it's on patch 3.0, by the way, Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is kind of weird because a 3 means for me it's like a major release. So it's Donkey Kong Bonanza 3 already. But yes, those numbers there doesn't make Nintendo also very happy. Metroid Prime 4 also seems to be a disappointment for Nintendo. Many people played it and not all were happy. And I see why not all were happy. And Nintendo seems to also not be happy with the numbers of the sales. So yeah. How's things? Things are good. How are things at your end? Who was the guy who got that World War I artillery shell stuck in his butt? Yeah, I mean, you know that stuff because you are into butt stuffing shells in other men. Good my end. How about you? Says haste to you. You should join the Ike's Discord. We've been playing Unreal Tournament, which will be in a week or so, a little bit more than a week, the next session of Unreal Tournament. This week, I'm just waiting for my bot to push out the schedule for the Sonic All-Star Transformed Racing session. It's cool, had a little fun with the X1950 Pro. Well, Haste got a X1950 XTX. He got all the X's because of me. He got one of the best ATI GPU of the days. What a beast back then. Not so much these days. Only 512 megabyte of video RAM. Now this one is a weird one. I don't know how this patent got through because I don't see any value, any like invention, no creative like technological invention here. Sony patents AI-generated podcasts voiced by characters from its games. The patent, which was applied for in July 2024 and granted in late January 2026, is titled LLM-based generative podcast for gamers. Video game platforms currently lack the ability to provide unique and targeted content to gamers to update gamers about things that are happening on the platform. The patent claims there are currently no adequate solution for the foregoing computer-related technological problem. If you see that as a problem, I don't see it as a problem not being like targeted, not getting into my mind and trying to establish what I want to see or don't want to see with characters from games I just played or not. I don't think that's a technological problem, not at all. And by the way, I need to show you something because I just saw that today. It's nothing new. That's actually nothing new. It already was shown that people were getting podcasts generated by AI according to their preferences, without their knowledge, by the way. I'm going to come to that in a second. I just saw that today. That was actually a thing. Its description depicts a scenario where the player starts up their console and are shown a message on the home screen informing them your personalized podcast is available for today. Rather than a pre-recorded podcast made available to all users, the podcast in this example are all individual to each user, based on what they have played, and may even star characters from the games they've been playing. Yeah, nobody wants that though. Do I really want my console and Sony to scan all the time my gaming behavior? Do I really want that? It's just a waste of energy, waste of GPU performance in some data center. But yeah, that's how it is, man. That's why you pay $900 for 2 sticks of memory. Because of something you never asked for. They are just pushing it down your throat and telling you, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. As the patent describes it, the console would pull data from various elements, including recent gameplay, friends list, and other console-level events, and inform the player about them in this podcast. Yeah, just make more connections too, by the way. Make bigger profiles. Or you have this and that dude as a friend, and your friend has the other guy as a friend. You might be related, like mentally, like gameplay-wise, you might want the same stuff. How about we mention the friend of your friend? Maybe you can become friends too. Sounds a little bit invasive, like privacy-wise. But you agree to it because we all make accounts on those platforms, and we don't read all those terms of services. We just don't. Don't pretend you read all those 50,000 pages of user agreements. You did not. You just want, yes, I want this account. And we have here a little depiction because that's amazing. Look at this creative process we're getting on here. Jack Brown just won trophy 532 in Space Explorers. You should try. You should try your hand at that game. Ha! If you think you have the skills. Ha! What a joke inserted by the AI there. You should try the game to see if you have the skills. Like your friend played the game and mentions your friend here, obviously, and he got a trophy there. And you don't want to lag behind because that shows that you're a loser and your friend is the good player. You can't let that happen. Is that really gonna catch you people out there? Are you really that dumb? I hope fucking not, man. I hope you're better and smarter, but I don't have high hopes for that. In another, the first host says, in other news, there's a software update for Gen X, so update now. The host adds, also try a spin move on the boss next time. Holy shit. Fuck you, Sony. I already hate everything here. And I just bought, didn't pay it yet, but I won a white PlayStation 4 Pro. Good price, about $140. But yes, what the heck, man? Where are we going with all this generative AI nonsense? Anyhow, I wanted to show you that part, which I just saw today. Synchronicity, guys, synchronicity. Let me pull it up. Mute you here on this end. I need to find the spot. My point is this pattern should never have been granted in the first place, no matter if it was already done or not, but it was already done. I think it was the Washington Post. Not like with a host on screen, but the rest is exactly the same. Like personalized podcasts just for you. Damn, where's the spot? This tiny small section, but it was such an important section. Why did I not mark it earlier? Oh, I think I just skipped. There it is. Um, 12:30-ish. And James Corbett, a Canadian who lives in Japan, he does the most amazing fucking journalism job ever. A little bit earlier.
Thanks, Mike.
Do we have audio? We have audio.
The Washington Post for creating AI-generated personal.
He makes like every year the annual fake news awards since 8 years, now 9 years because it's the ninth. And he has the Washington Post.
Podcast user is.
The Washington Post got a little fake news award because the AI is not that smart.
Post for creating AI-generated personalized podcasts that feature fake, error-ridden AI slop hosted by fake digitally created voices. Yes, the crack prostitutes at the Washington Dies in Darkness Post decided in their infinite wisdom to produce personalized podcasts for their gullible readers. These podcasts could be generated in seconds, featuring a voice selected by the user on topics they're interested in. The only problem? These podcasts immediately started generating AI-hallucinated fake news content riddled with factual errors and published under the Washington Post name. As one frustrated WAPO editor vented on Slack,
I'm big surprised.
It is truly astonishing that this was allowed to go forward at all. Never would I have imagined that the Washington Post would deliberately warp its own journalism and then push these errors out to our audience at scale. If we were serious, we would pull this tool immediately. But therein lies the problem. Even the Bezos Post editors still think of this feature as a tool. But it isn't. It's an AI slop-vomiting cancer on humanity designed to parasitically suck the content out of real productive human journalism and regurgitate it back into the brain-dead rube's ears, hallucinated nonsense and all. What is the point of this crap? Why on earth would any sane human being want this? They don't. But that's...
Go to Corbett Report here on Rumble. He has a channel here, posts everything on Rumble too. And it's a nice, interesting game award. Not game award, fake news award again. And he like shows you with evidence what the fake is and all. And that was, I just saw it, I saw it today. Because synchronicity. Seeing that patent being granted. And Washington Post already did exactly that one thing already without just the visuals, but everything is the same. Like, who wants that? He is so spot on. Who wants that AI slop, man? I don't know. Nobody really, but they still keep on pushing that slop down our throat. Bert and Arnie. Wow, the Washington Post, fake news. Never heard of it. Yeah, I mean, but it's like the AI stuff that is important here. They thought that like, yeah, we're gonna do a great job. Just push AI slop on people. It's gonna be fantastic. They're gonna love it. Oh shit! It's just making up shit without our inventions. It's just making up shit of its own. We can't let that happen. I'm saddened. I'm deeply saddened by this news. Not that I use it at all, but it's just interesting. Sorry, PS3 users. Netflix is dropping support for Sony's 20-year-old console next month. It's not often we get to report on PS3 news these days, but it seems Netflix hasn't forgotten about Sony's last-gen machine. As it's seen on Reddit, if you boot up the Netflix app on PS3, it now says it will no longer be available on this device from the 2nd of March 2026. The streaming service first came to PS3 via Blu-ray disc in 2009. All those nines today. And a native app followed about a year later in the US. It was approaching 20 years of support on the console, which is pretty impressive. Which is actually really is. Yes, I agree. 20 years and still was supported. Still is supported in a month or so. Not anymore. But yes, you get still the Netflix apps on PS3 and it works. And isn't that cool? Isn't that kind of cool? Netflix at least tries to keep stuff alive in some capacity. Sony attempted to shut down the PS Store on PS3 and the Vita a while ago and was forced to go back on that decision after public outcry to keep it alive. It's still a pretty functional console then. Despite losing Netflix next month, the PS3 will at least remain the only console of its generation with a working digital store. Not that I'm going to use it. I'm not going to update my console because I have like specialized software on it where I can load games from the network. Let's just say that. And I just connected it today. Again. But yes, it's kind of impressive that Netflix was still supporting it overall. But yes, this support is gonna die very soon. Maybe they try to push PS4 sales. Now, there was a news attached to this. We're not gonna read the news. I just find this hilarious. Red Dead Redemption is a great game. Pokemon can go F itself. I kind of hate Pokemon. Never liked it, really. But it's a beloved franchise overall. And I see the appeal. I absolutely see the appeal. But it was never a game for me. So this user made a mod for Red Dead Redemption 2 where he can play Pokemon in it. And it's just funny.
First capture test.
He managed to capture it, but it got out of it and killed him.
Has our starters. He's a stray. He's a stray. We'll give him a home. Okay. What's his name? Bob Barker. Professor Unk?
Bob Barker's in the chat,
battle.
everybody.
Here we go.
His dog is Bob Barker.
Of course he has a skunk.
Skunk level 1 versus Bob Barker.
Turtle? I missed! Use plastic straw. We got our first gym badge. Wow. Roman did a great job. Bob Barker is taking a shit on the menu screen. Here we go. He's got his fishing rod still. Bluegill. Bringing his defense up. He's here. Jules, where is he? I need him. I need to capture him. Ah! Dutch have come a long way. Arthur, send out Calm. Calm, get him. Oh my god, this is nightmare fuel. Torso Mon. The final battle.
I mean, it seems to work overall.
Noodle, come on. Micah's final form.
It seems to work. I don't know where you can get the mod, but now you know it exists. Down in the video description, as always, all the articles I'm talking about are linked, even this X post. And you go to his, I guess, profile and find more about it. It's just funny. I love stuff like that. People being creative. He might look out for Nintendo, though. Nintendo are probably not going to be very happy. This mod might vanish very soon. Because Nintendo is very protective of their IPs. Why isn't no? I have the original boot chime on my PS3. What do you mean with boot chime? PS3 on my favorite Blu-ray players. Yeah, if you get one with a good fan still. Who the hell is still watching Netflix on PS3? Well, some people were, obviously, but they're going to be sad in a month or so. They're going to be very sad. Wow, the Washington Post, I read that already. I bought a PS4 recently. I did. A white one. Because only whites are good. White consoles, I mean. It looks still good, and one controller was mentioned not working wirelessly, only when it's connected via cable. Maybe it's the battery. I ordered battery for the PS4 controllers and my PS3 controllers. One of them is also very, very low all the time. Gonna swap that and see what we can do with the PS4 in general. If it's not the latest updated firmware, we might be able to load some unofficial web browsers. Let's put it that way. The original PlayStation 3 startup screen and chime. Oh, did they change it at one point? I guess. You should get an Xbox One for backwards compatibility. I was looking actually on that today too. But Xbox One. If I would get an Xbox One, it would be an Xbox One X. Just because of better cooling solution and all that. Because the original Xbox One today, the fans are all most likely bullshit. You know who is bullshit too? Bobby Kotick. What a piece of human garbage. Let's talk about him. Ex-Activision boss Bobby Kotick allegedly emailed with Jeffrey Epstein a bunch. In 2025, Gawker, wasn't Gawker like the gay website? I'm not sure. Maybe. Published an article, just sounds like very gay Gawker. Published an article titled, "Here's a pedophile billionaire, Jeffrey Epstein's Little Black Book. It included a link to a redacted copy of Epstein's alleged address book listing contact info for a range of famous, wealthy, and powerful people. One of them was then Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick, who ran the publisher behind industry-defining hits like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft. Several emails dating from November 2012 show Epstein trying to set up an alleged dinner with Kotick while the latter was visiting New York. Epstein had asked the gaming executive if he'd be willing to come a day early when the actor and director Woody Allen would be available. But one of the emails shows Kotick writing back to say that wasn't possible. Maybe this was just a scheduling issue. It doesn't sound like it was like a moral issue, like an ethical issue. Because, surprise, surprise, Woody Allen, big pedophile, big piece of shit, human garbage, asshole, cocksucking, filthy son of a bitch. And we all know that before the Epstein stuff came about. Woody Allen was notorious and been known for that nonsense. Everybody in the industry knew about Woody Allen having the little itchies about the younger ones. But he's just still walking free. He has all the money too. His net worth is something about $130 million US, which is crazy. But he was known long before all this Epstein nonsense came about that he was into young human beings. So fuck that garbage human being. And it just shows me that the Kotick might be already in these circles, despite Woody Allen. He didn't care for Woody Allen because the latter emails tell a different story about the mentality of Bobby Kotick. I'm gonna read most of it, not only the market stuff, because that's what our show is today about mainly. Epstein's itinerary for that month listed a dinner with Bobby Kotick on November 18th, 2012. Bobby Kotick came over last night. He's great, Epstein wrote in the Next Model Management co-founder Faith Cates on November 19th, a day later, 2012. Cates unexpectedly retired last month after her name surfaced in a previously reported batch of Epstein emails. Oh yeah, just unexpectedly retired. Completely unexpectedly after it was released, his name in those files. A representative for Epstein proceeded to send information about his private island in the Caribbean, Little St. James, which is the Epstein Island, just saying, to Kotick on November 21st, 2012. In a follow-up exchange on December 9, 2012, Epstein asked Kotick how the Caribbean was. Kotick allegedly wrote back, "Great, could have stopped by the island." He knew what's going on the island. He wished he was able to go there. Oh, he couldn't though. He couldn't diddle kids on that particular weekend. He just was not able to. And again, schedule issues, I guess. Emails between the two were allegedly exchanged multiple times in 2013 as well. February 24, 2013, email stated that Epstein was in LA planning a visit to SpaceX. Oh, probably inviting Elon Musk to his islands. And Elon Musk always declined those parties, by the way, according to himself, because it was weird. Those parties were for him weird. But Elon Musk has zero problem going to Trump's parties, to those furry parties, by the way. We just had recently furry parties, kind of furry parties. At least they had all dog masks on, more or less, in that one party. What was it, a month ago, something like that? Just weird. Everything like high elite bourgeoisie parties and nonsense like that. They're all in the same club. All in the same club. They all suck. That was my title on the thumbnail anyway. SpaceX that week and was trying to link up with Kotick while in town. Thanks, but rather see you, Epstein wrote in one email. Taking girls off to do Bel Air. Kotick at one point allegedly wrote back, "Come with your friends to my house at Beverly Hills. 10 minutes from Bel Air." Several emails also show Epstein trying to arrange a tour of Activision. The company did not respond to a request for a comment. Yeah, at least some decent people maybe that got the email first and said like, "Nah, we're good. We don't want you, Epstein, here. We're good. Fuck off." One X is really good. That's an ugly dude. What, Kotick? Yeah, I mean his if you believe in souls, he has surely a very ugly soul. But I just say he has a very ugly character. And yes, all of those sites are pretty gay. They're not Grindr. Their writers are big Grindr users. Yeah. I don't visit those sites. I have enough gayness with Kotaku, Polygon, Gamers Radar. I have enough gayness here, so I don't need to visit more gay websites. Naughty rich guys. I heard the hard drives going about 100,000 terabytes later on. Good for your massive torrent collection. Yeah. We are with hardware like coming to a kind of at least regular hardware with platters and magnetics and fields and all that. We are reaching a limit. We are reaching a limit because atoms can be only that big, you know. And the magnetic fields are so tiny, so precise already. You can't push you can make it like more dense, not really much more. So I assume they are having different methods of the platters with different materials to reach 100 terabyte, or just making them like double thickness. Or maybe SSDs, we can put a lot of chips on in those cases, maybe. But yes, 100 terabyte, I haven't seen any news, like for on consumer levels at least. And yes, I would like to have a 100 terabyte drive. You could download the whole PS3 collection, which is, I think, about 30 terabyte big. Elon Musk was banging Amber Turd. Oh yeah, but that's before Elon Musk was over Amber Turd before what was his name? Johnny Depp got her. He got her used, very used, probably. I miss the Diddy parties. No, you don't, Admiral. You don't miss those. Many people think like Diddy was just about gayness and all that. No, Diddy was the black Epstein guy, by the way. He was also trafficking children, and he was just the black like connection in those rings. Diddy was not only about the black gayness out there. Never think that only. Or Steam collection of 500 games or whatever. Oh no, the Steam collection, I don't even know. You need maybe to ask Grok or one of those LLMs to find out more precise data. But Steam, I don't know how big that library would be. Yeah, Kotick said exactly. Gay. And Grindr is the Tinder app for facts. Yeah, I know that. But Gawker, I think Gawker was involved in the bigger gayness than here, Kotaku. Several emails also show Epstein trying to arrange a tour. Already that line. Epstein again tried to arrange a meeting with Kotick at the end of April 2013. Great, see you then. I will bring 30th for. Also, I understand that Brian Grazer, like me, searches for smart, interesting people. Do you know him? Epstein emailed Kotick on April 29, 2013. Yes, I do, Kotick allegedly wrote back. A follow-up email from Kotick was allegedly sent later that day. Can we meet at 6? I'm running late, it read. Yeah, we need to meet. Really, I want to bang some young chicks. I really need to meet you right now. Can you traffic those girls to me? At 6, please. The two allegedly exchanged more emails the following day. Great house, great art. Oh yeah, we know about the arts of those fucktards. John Podesta and his brother. Go look up that art, and you know what I mean. Because they publicly like showed it to all kinds of people, and you see all kinds of pictures. And Pizzagate is absolutely a thing. If you still doubt Pizzagate, by the way, you are a retard and you should go fix your brain. Something like that. John Podesta, like one of the most notorious fucking pedophiles out there ever. There is material out there. I don't know why this guy is still alive in general, that nobody just grabbed him and pushed him into a chipper. I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just wondering. Where was I? More emails the next day. The two allegedly exchanged more emails the following day. The great house, great art. I am in New York, 1 to 6 if you have time when you come. Epstein wrote to Kotick on April 30th, 2012. Thanks, great guests, Kotick allegedly wrote back. The email accounts corresponded multiple times in the days after that. My Russian guest missed your arrival yesterday, Epstein wrote to Kotick in May 7, 2012 email. And I missed her. Three, see you both next trip, Kotick allegedly wrote back on May 8, 2012. So we are just being shown here whole timelines, you know. Each of these emails is dated after Epstein's 2008 felony conviction in Florida, where he pleaded guilty to state charges of soliciting and procuring a person under 18 for prostitution. And when he also just said out loud, yeah, he likes younger girls and underage girls and all that, and he had sexual relations with them. That's all. Those emails came all after he told the whole world what's going on in his circles. So Bobby Kotick, obviously, even if not every email is like the absolute truth, it just seems like a lot is there, a lot of material is there to call out Bobby Kotick a piece of shit. That's just my thoughts. That's just my opinion. You don't need to have the same opinion, but I have this opinion of Bobby Kotick. He went on to serve a 13-month jail sentence and was added to the National Sex Offender Registry, for which an account belonging to him was later banned from Xbox Live in December 2013, which I reported on Monday. Kotick allegedly exchanged emails with Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell as well. You don't ring, you don't write. Yours heartbroken, Ghislaine. Maxwell wrote to Kotick in April 24th, 2004. An email reply allegedly from Kotick reads, so they were already in contact for a long time, obviously. When you have an email from 2004 already, and it goes all up to 2013, with still exchanging with Epstein himself, they had a long relationship, productive relationship, I guess. An email reply allegedly from Kotick read, mend it together and bring that sexy body that goes with it out to my town. 3 ring. I don't know what that 3 actually means here. Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in prison in 2022 for what was the Justice Department described as her role in a scheme to sexually exploit and abuse multiple minors with minor girls with Jeffrey Epstein over the course of a decade. Kotick left Activision Blizzard in December 2023 after the company was acquired by Microsoft in a record $70 billion acquisition. The merger came at the conclusion of a lengthy regulatory process, and while Activision Blizzard was facing multiple sexual misconduct lawsuits, which were eventually settled with no admission of any wrongdoing. And I talked a little bit about that part where Kotick actually said, that was maybe 3-4 weeks ago, where he was like saying, yeah, that was not like our systemic behavior. Like he didn't like said, yes, it happened directly, those singular cases. He said like the opposite, in the sense of, yeah, it was not a systemic sexual harassment campaign going on in our company. Not denying that those cases really were there, though. So very interesting. And now I know why he didn't deny it. Because he was probably involved in that in the first place, somehow. Or he just at least let it happen in his own big-ass company there. Just another little sign that he is a piece of shit. I missed the black gay Diddy parties. No, you don't. Yeah, fucking Petergate confirmed beyond a shadow of a doubt now. Cathy O'Brien also somewhat validated by all this. Certainly the gist of it a long time. No court or any independent, that was his saying, I'm just going to read it again. No court or any independent investigation has substantiated an allegation that there has been systemic or widespread sexual harassment at Activision Blizzard. that Activision Blizzard senior executive ignored, condoned, or tolerated a culture of systemic harassment, retaliation, or discrimination, or that Activision Blizzard's board of directors, including its chief executive officer, Robert Kotick, acted inappropriately with regard to the handling of any instances of workplace misconduct. I read a statement including in one of the court-approved settlements. All bullshit. You can't trust any of those fuckers anymore. If the name appears in the Epstein files, it better be like opposing Epstein stuff right away, just like in the case with the two mentions of Ron Paul, where he was just in the files because he was mentioned in articles opposing all those fucktards out there. So making him looking even better, you know, in that sense. If your name doesn't appear in this way in the Epstein files, you are probably a piece of shit. You're probably a piece of shit. Just saying. Just saying. That's my opinion. You can go after me if you want. I don't give a shit. Because if you allow yourself to be censored, or you censor yourself, because what might other things who are fans of those pedophiles, what might those my friends think about me then? Maybe they are not your friends anymore. Maybe they were never your friends if they're defending in any capacity all this nonsense. Maybe you need to thin out again your friends list, just like it happened 5.5 years ago, when all of a sudden your friends were like on the opposite side, like of freedom, liberty, and your freedom of speech and your own health. You know, you know about the scandemic, you know, where you lost friends, and they defended all that nonsense back then too. Despite having all the evidence that everything was made up, everything is going to shit with the government already. I'm just saying, man. Stuff like that just pisses me off. Was Bobby in the files? Yeah, you just missed the whole show, you little swiny boy. You missed the whole show. The whole important part. You can read the article. It's an interesting article overall, pretty neutral. I kind of like it when they sort of keep it more neutral. And they just, what they say, Ethan Goch probably said a little bit too often, allegedly. If you have so many like references with his name and his email, it's probably not only allegedly. It's most likely confirmed at this point. Take-Two denies GTA 6 will launch without a physical version. That's not the plan. We had it just on Monday. I talked about it because of the Polish website said we might not get a physical release on release date. Last month, the previously reliable Grazdari of PPE.pl claimed that there would be no physical version on the release day for the much anticipated Rockstar sequel in an effort to prevent leaks. Speaking to Variety, Zelnick, the CEO of Take-Two, has now denied that this is the case. Asked if Take-Two planned to delay the release of the physical version until after the initial launch date, the CEO replied, "That's not the plan." He could have said no, but he said that's not the plan. So it might still happen. Just, you need to read the words, you know, how they are said and told to us. Because anytime you're getting closer to the marketing beats, you're obviously in a place where your confidence level is as high as it can be, he added to it. And the marketing campaign, that is pretty much confirmed. It's going to start in this summer. When exactly, we don't know. But you can't like prevent leaks at this point. When you're going to start the marketing machinery, you're going to have leaks of some capacity. So there's no point, and I already said, like, it would not make a lot of sense to prevent leaks, not giving people the physical release, because shops usually don't get it like months and months prior to it, because these days those discs actually are going to be maybe produced at max 1 month prior to being shipped to the shops. So I hope for them it goes well, whatever. I'm not going to buy it, but kind of a good sign for people who want the physical disc. Not that it matters a lot, because you're going to have to install it anyhow on the PS5. Start from the beginning. Sure. No, I do my streams very simple. My streams are rewindable. You can rewind them. You can put your mouse on the little circle in the timeline and down there in the player and just go back. Some people don't do that. Some faggot who plays only Escape from Tarkov. If you missed the beginning and he's still live, you can't watch the beginning. Maybe you can if you go on X. This gay dude also streams on X. His Tarkov stuff. So if you want to see the beginning, you need to go to X, because he can't figure out the rumble part. If it's neutral, that's surprising coming from Kotick. More neutral. It was not like super neutral, but it was more neutral, maybe because they wanted to protect themselves, obviously. I can't find the bar. Then I can't help you, man. Then I can't help you. I can't also help Borderlands. I can't help Gearbox. You remember Borderlands, right? That was the other super high successful game of 2025 beside the Outer Worlds. It is so successful they have no capacity to keep the development going for the Switch 2 version. Borderlands 4 for Switch 2 development paused. Development on the Switch 2 version of Borderlands 4 has paused. Take-Two Interactive Software said during its Q3 2026 earning results. While the Switch 2 version was previously planned to launch on October 3rd, 2025, slightly after the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series and PC versions September 12th release, it was delayed to an unannounced date to the last minute. We made that difficult decision to pause development on that SKU. Take-Two spokesperson Alan Levis told Variety, "Our focus continues to be delivering quality post-launch content for players on the ongoing improvements to optimize the game. We're continuing to collaborate closely with our friends at Nintendo." Ongoing improvements to optimize the game? This prick, the chief, the boss, the CEO of Gearbox, he told us, he gaslighted us, the game is damn well, that were his words, damn well optimized. Well, it was not damn well optimized. Many people reported back, it's not running like it should and all that. And then now you need to optimize even more for the Switch 2 version? I'm shocked. Shocked, I say. The game is doing so well that they needed to pause the development for Switch 2. That's how much money they made. They have not the capacity to spend it all on development here. And that just, again, to show you a little bit numbers here, how not well this game is doing. It's kind of same pictures like Outer Worlds, like High Ground. High Guard, sorry, not Ground. High Guard. It started strong. The first 2 weeks were okay, but then it fell off pretty steadily. And now you have on a daily basis max 4,500. It's a big game, or at least it was a big game. But that's how well it does, because people just were like, meh, it's not that great. Obviously. I'm happy that I didn't spend any bucks on this turd. In my opinion, it's a turd. If you enjoy the game, I'm happy for you, I guess. but I think it's not this amazing piece of game software. I can't find a bar. It doesn't exist. I run low on latency, so there is no scrubs on Rumble. You can on Rumble and YouTube though, but Rumble has the highest quality stream. That's always what I said. Compared to YouTube with the same bitrate, Rumble does a better job overall. Doesn't matter though when you do direct streaming, so you better have a good system to encode it already very nicely on your end. For the stream here, the newscast, I use 4.5 Mbit. That's more than enough because usually you see only text on screen. Hey all, how big is that? Sup dog? Sup dog? You talk like a teenager, Admiral. You're over 30. You're not allowed to talk like that anymore. Just saying. The next Xbox console is seemingly launching next year. I call that fake news. Even coming from AMD, by the way. During its earnings call, AMD CEO spoke about future chipset, and in addition to confirming that the Steam machine is set to launch early this year, it also seemingly confirmed that the next Xbox is set to launch in 2027. Hard to believe that next year, I know. I don't believe it. It's not hard to believe for me, at least. I don't believe it at all. It's not going to be an Xbox by name. It's going to be Xbox compatible, if anything. Coming that stuff from AMD, weird. And development of Microsoft's next-gen Xbox featuring an AMD semi-custom SoC system on a chip is progressing well to support a launch in 2027, she said. Well, it's a woman, though. I guess she has no idea what she's talking about. It had been previously rumored that the next Xbox and the PlayStation console would release in 2027, marking 7 years since the last release. But this had previously changed for Sony, but still seems to be in place for Xbox. It's expected that the next Xbox console will be much more PC-oriented as Xbox looks to bring its PC and Xbox strategies closer together. I'm keep telling people that since they pulled off the hardware from bigger selling places. I think it was Costco in the UK who did that first, something like that. You all of a sudden don't see any Xboxes more in the shelf. Having 2 price hikes doesn't drive the selling either. And Microsoft, by the way, is struggling really hard with hardware sales. So why would they still try to push and approach a new console with the brand and doing it like by themselves? It's gonna be just Xbox branded hardware that is compatible according to their requirements for the games. Because I told you that too. That was maybe now 4 months ago, where they launched their certificate program campaign, where it's going to be like, if you get that certificate, if you get that license, your game needs to be meeting certain thresholds of hardware performance and all that, and vice versa, of course. The hardware needs to be able to run that specific games, and that's why you get this seal of approval, pretty much. Microsoft is not going to make this console. Microsoft just told AMD, we had this article too, back in the days, they just told them what they wish from this new APU. Like minimums, pretty much. Minimums hardware-wise, performance-wise. And AMD don't care. They don't care. They're just going to produce this chiplet and they're going to make it and sell it to whoever manufacturer of the consoles, handhelds, or stationary consoles. They don't care for that part. As long as they can sell to a certain price, they will produce it. but it's not gonna be a Microsoft Xbox anymore. I think we're gonna see only next gen Sony. After that, maybe another Nintendo one, and then it's gonna be it. I don't think much more like dedicated hardware gonna be a thing when newer technologies come out with transferring data. I think it's gonna be streaming overall. That was said already for the PS5, by the way, but after the PS6, that's gonna happen. Asus ROG Xbox PC. Yes, something like that. But even that didn't sell that often because high prices, and right now you can't produce a console anyhow for a decent price. So what's the point? Like claiming nonsense like this. I hope AMD doesn't shoot in their own foot with claims like that. Makes you just look stupid, in my opinion. Of course, I'm not in the production line. I don't have any say there. I don't know what's going on behind closed doors, making those deals and all that. But it feels to me like when I can see certain stuff as just an consumer, end user here, if I see certain stuff happening, I can't trust those statements. That's pretty much it. And last news for today. If you're a GameStop employee, I hope you got that memo already. Otherwise, you're missing something in your company. GameStop employees forced to ditch their Zelda tees and Goku button-downs. The next time you walk into a GameStop, don't be alarmed by the sudden absence of Fangamer t-shirts and Goku button-ups behind the counter. GameStop workers are about to go full-on corporate thanks to a newly imposed dress code that limits what employees can wear. Just a few days in, the apparel restrictions are already causing friction for employees. Yeah, I bet. The dress code, which was enacted at the start of February, differs depending on the status of the worker. Full-time employees need to wear colored shirts and blouses or polos with small logos. Oh, now they're gonna measure those logos too. You're gonna see like the manager of the store. Yeah, no, that half inch is just too much. That just no. We can't go like. It has to be at least maximum. I mean, a quarter of an inch big. Some discussions are coming up to the stores there. Part-time employees are expected to do the same, but have a bit more leeway. They are also allowed to wear solid red or black t-shirts. Everyone is allowed to wear anything with GameStop branding or shirts provided by vendors. By vendors? Which vendors do they mean exactly? I have exactly one item that fits that description. One employee vented on the r/GameStop subreddit. I am now going to have to spend at least $100. Really? A black t-shirt, $100? Go fuck yourself, you loser. You're telling nonsense. I mean, I know what he's trying to do. Make it sound like you're gonna spend like a fortune on clothing. Just buy 2-3 black shirts, each $5 or whatever in a fucking Walmart. I assume. What's wrong with you, man? On clothes, man, I don't even make that much. What, in an hour? I hope you don't make in an hour $100. I won't be paying this company to work here, one worker wrote in a Reddit thread. Dress codes at retailers are typical, but some GameStop employees feel that the video game store operates differently than your standard Best Buy or Target. And that's the point where I agree, actually. I'm way less harsher in a gaming shop in general. Why is there the need for a kind of a strict dress code as long as it's like not looking like you just came out homeless, out from the streets directly as an employee, and being dirty and all that. As long as the clothing is like not dirty and is maybe even game related, maybe having a Zelda t-shirt, I as a customer would absolutely be fine with it. I would actually be more skeptical towards this corporate mindset, just being everybody the same, like looking the same. I don't need you when you're just a robot. Really, I don't care for you at all. Even if I have questions, I would rather go directly to Grok. So what is GameStop really thinking here? I don't know. They might not do that well in the future because they are closing like their brands in New Zealand. All the shops, the EB shops are being closed in New Zealand. Some in Australia, by the way, and they all belong to GameStop. In the UK, I don't know if the game, just this chain is called Game, only Game. They are closing some shops there too, and if they are kind of related to GameStop, I don't think so. But yes, why are you making that stuff? You're making it more and less appealing to go into those stores in the first place. Funko Pop, I think Funko Pop, that was what it destroyed everything. Yeah. Fuck GameStop though. They are so like generic, so sterile looking in Switzerland here. I mean, they have almost no stores here anymore anyway. But the last time I was in, it looked like... if I want a hospital feeling, I go to a hospital. Just saying. Becoming a holding company. Manager with a little ruler measuring logos. Yeah, I could see that, to be honest. I absolutely could see that. Where's your flair? Get some cheap dress shirt on Amazon. I bought a $23 collar shirt at Amazon and they look fine. Yeah, even a polo shirt, you should be able to getting like a 100% like cotton polo shirt for $10. You know, those are not expensive. You just need to look out. I buy my clothes, by the way, if you're interested in general, at Aldi. Once a year, there's something I need, new clothing, a new shirt or whatever, new socks. Aldi has some sales going on and it's perfectly fine. Because I usually hate logos and like any markings or any pictures and stuff, usually. So, and those shirts are cheap. Those clothing are cheap. No logos, nothing I need to care for. And I don't need that often clothing, therefore. Buy it in bulk. I'm one of those guys too. Corporate stop. GameStop still exists. It looks like. And also, I want to point out, they took a picture with Scott the Wiz. Very funny guy. He's a very funny guy. He's unfortunately not on Rumble. He's on YouTube. Makes great sketches and gives you like a very deep dive informational sketches, actually. Why does Polygon market image GameStop? They just stole it from a Scott video, obviously. Bitches. Bitches. Not even giving him some credit here. For long, I guess. N64 shirt. I would like an N64 shirt. I have an original PlayStation shirt. Gifted by Sony. Yeah, and GameStop is doing some interesting things. They bought the ADT security company, and they are looking to acquire Wayfair. What was Wayfair? Good show, Swiss. I have to go take a shit and make some phone calls. Talk to you later. Dog. It's the best news show. Always. When more people on the chat, it's becoming even better. Just pointing that out, as usual. One thing I'm not lacking is clothes. I'm usually not big on logos, except hats. Yeah, we know about your body pillow pictures, and you're wearing the same hat with the same logo. We know about those. Haste, chill out. Wayfair sells Fortune and the rugs. Haven't watched Scott was in a year. No rum. He's funny. If you don't know about Scott, was it Was or Wiz? I think it was Wiz. Might be Was. Because you should know by now. I suck on names. Giggity. Scott the Was. He makes great videos. That's all I can say. If you never saw anything from him, you need to check out his channel. Unfortunately on YouTube, yes, but he doesn't go like into this YouTube shill mentality at all. He just makes his videos. He should also upload those videos just on Rumble. He's not going to make any money on Rumble because it's not live stuff, but still. I would appreciate it. The more into furniture with the photo finish. Lol, I forgot. Not my jam. Scott is not your jam? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with Haste? We need to know what's wrong with him. He's into body pillow, but not into funny people. And when Sarge got home, he told me. Too late. Too late. Where's my money, bitch? I expected money. All good. All good. Now, as usually, I need to check. Is it worth to send some people somewhere else? Not a lot of people here, but over 10. That's like the minimum, the threshold. Not you, Mrs. Sarge. Thank you very much. Mrs. Sarge, I meant Mrs. Sarge. No, Mrs. Sarge, you don't need. Just checking. You are weirdos, I'm telling you. Who might be worth my one viewer I'm sending myself? I'm gonna chill out on my couch for or rather bed. Shall we send you to Silvercock? Does Ouch My Junk want to go to Silvercock? No, let's scroll down. Somebody unknown. On Monday you missed the low spec Linux gamer Haste. I expected to see you there for a second. But no Haste. Somebody I have no knowledge about. Or just little, or people I still kind of find okay. I'm gonna send you here. I'm not gonna tell you. You can say hi or not. It completely depends on your mood. Everybody, thank you for being around. I hope you enjoyed the Epstein files, the Bobby Kotick version. What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. All of them. All of them. Have a good one. I thank you, Haste. I thank you, Mrs. Sarge, for the gifted. Much appreciated, as usual. Till next time, which should be tomorrow. And I'm not sure if I'm going to play tomorrow. Maybe Drakengard on the PS3. I just downloaded it. Or if I'm going to go with my plan for playing Final Fantasy VIII. Not the remaster, the original. But with mods. Voice mod and a little bit visual mod community stuff. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.